Welcome students to the commerce class. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 3. In chapter 3 we have two topics. One is management by objectives and management by exemption. Management by objectives. First, I want to explain about management by objectives. That means what? For example, in each company there will be a head of a company. Let us see. First, in this diagram, you are seeing that MD is there. So he is the managing director, and the next person is the VP, that is vice president of a company, and next under him he has a accounts manager, production manager, sales manager, and HR, human resource manager. So each and every company will have different departments. So the meaning of management by objectives is that why they have separated all the departments is to achieve the company goals for development of the companies. So all these four department heads, that is accounts department and the production department and sales department and the HR department. So the HR department also, the HR person, the manager settles or makes a person who is capable to be in a right place and chooses a right person. So all these things are done in what it is known as the objective. So to fulfill the company's objective, these four departments are proceeding. So this is what known as management by objectives. So they can complete the goals of a company. These are the chapter synopses which we are going to go through. Meaning of MBO, definition of MBO, objectives of MBO, features of MBO, and process of MBO. First, we go on with meaning of MBO. Meaning of MBO. So, before itself, I have just given you a short explanation about management by objectives. That is how it is followed in a company or in an organization. So the MD is there, I told, VP, and under the 4 heads or 5 heads of each departments. So now we are going to see the meaning of MBO as per given in the book. So MBO is a management system in which each member of organization effectively participate and involves himself. So here the word in which each member of organization. So in each departments also, as we have seen, under accounts department, under HR department, under production department, and under sales department, we'll be having subordinates. Under the each of the manager, there will be a subordinate or a laborers who are working under them. So each and every member of an organization must work effectively to and participate and involve himself. When he involves himself in the company, how he involves himself? By doing his job, by doing his work which was given by the authority, the superiors. So this is the meaning of MBO. And next it also says that this system gives full scope to the individual strength and responsibility. So the responsibility which is given by the top management to the lower level, that is from the superior to the subordinates. So This is the meaning of MBO. So what must we do? We must effectively work towards the goal of each and every organization or a company. This is what it means by management by objectives. So the objective is given, so they have to work towards the company's goal, to achieve the company's goal by giving their full participation and involvement in their work. Next, we move on with the definition of MBO. So this definition was given by George. So he is from USA. So he says that MBO is a system wherein the superior and the subordinate. Superior is the maybe a manager, and these subordinates may be a laborers who works under him. Superiors may also be a MD or the VP of a company, and the subordinates here may also be the manager, okay, of an organization, jointly identify its common goals. That is, so the 4 department heads we have seen, no? Accounts department, HR department, sales department and production department. So the 4 department heads work together and they jointly identify the common goals of the company to be fulfilled. So define each individual's major area of responsibility. So they divide and they give them major area of responsibility to the each person in terms of the result expected of him, and use these measures and guides for operating the unit and assessing the contribution of each of its members. So this is the definition which was given by George Odior. Next we move on with the objectives of MBO. So before we saw meaning of MBO, definition of MBO. Now next is objectives. So the objectives of MBO. In human being, we all have certain objectives to be completed at a particular time. So you also have some objectives like completing your assignments with a specified time or a given time. So same like that, we are going to see what are the objectives of MBO. The first point is to measure and judge performance. So to measure and judge performance, the organization first measures the performance of an individual and then judge whether the performance are going according to the instructions. Okay. So second one, to relate individual performance to organizational goals. So every individual has different capacity, right? We all have different capacities. So every individual has different capacity. The organizational should relate whether we are achieving the goals or not. So according to our capacity. The third one is to clarify both the job to be done and the expectations of accomplishment. So the organization will guide the job to be done and also explains the expectation if the worker has any doubt in his performance. So the fourth one, to foster the increasing competence and growth of the subordinates. Everyone in different in their own capabilities. Correct? We are all different with the capacities also. With our own capabilities, we are different. If you have 2 friends, okay, one will complete his task faster, another one does it slowly. That is okay. But in company, if one person completes the work faster and the other person does it slowly, in this case, the MBO, that is, the management by objective tries to increase the capacity by giving again training for the person, for the individual. With the help of this training, the skills of the subordinates will develop and he can complete the work at a given time. Next, to enhance communication between superior and subordinates. To enhance communication between superiors and subordinates. So, we have different level of workers in an organization. There is a top level, middle level and bottom level. There should be a proper communication from the top level to the bottom level. So, the communication between the superior to the subordinates must be in a proper communication. Maybe a vertical communication or horizontal communication, but it must be a proper communication. As communication, we have seen in the last lesson itself, that we said in functions of management, the communication may be in oral or in written also, but it must be in proper way of officially. Okay, next one is to serve as a basis for judgment about salary and promotion. To serve as a basis for judgment about salary and promotion. All performance will be calculated after measuring performance. If the organization is really satisfied by the performance, salary increment and promotions will be considered. This is reward for performance. So, if the performance measures and the work is done and he satisfied the organization also. Satisfying organization means doing the job which was given to him, allocated to him, and finishing it at the right time, and also sending it and getting more goals to be reached. So next one is to stimulate the subordinates motivation. To stimulate the subordinates motivation, each person should be motivated. Correct? Each person should be motivated. I also want to be motivated by my superior, right? You also like to be motivated by your class teacher, subject teacher, whoever teacher you want. So, like that, each member of an organization is to be motivated, then he can do his work, and also the organization can expect a best and a better performance from that person. So next one is to serve as a device for organizational control and integration. If I am not measuring humans, I have no control on you. So, organization tries to combine all individual workers. When all individual workers integrative, it definitely results achievement of organizational goals. Next is features of MBO. So, the first one, an attempt is made by the management to integrate the goals of an organization and individuals. This will lead to effective management. So, the goals of an organization. What will be the goal of an organization? The goal of an organization may be the profit making and making the company or the organization or the firm to be in a topmost level. And next, individual goal is to earn money and to make the family happy. So these are the organization goals and individuals goals. So these are attempt made by the management to integrate two goals together. Next is MBO tries to combine the long run goals of organization with short run goals. So the long run goals may be when the company starts in the beginning to the 5 years. After 5 years, our company or organization will be in what level. And the short run goals may be what type of projects I can accept within these days. So the company, the MBO what we are going on with, that is management by objective. This objective, what it does, it tries to combine the long run and short run together with the organization, so that the long run goals may be or it can be satisfied within the short run itself. So the next point is management tries to relate the organization goal with society goals. So the organization goals is also somehow from the society goal. So what the society want, the some of the organization may be a manufacturing companies. So they can fulfill the society's goals also. They can fulfill the society needs also. So next point is MBO emphasizes is not only on goals but also on effective performance. So the goals for fulfilling is not only by making or achieving the goal but also from the each individuals who are working in a company with their effective performance, what performance they are giving. So the next point is it pays constant attention to refining, modifying and improving the goals and changing the approaches to achieve the goals on the basis of experience. So from this itself we can know that it is refining, that is modifying. Again they are giving trainings, they are improving by changing some activities, changing some basic to the improved sessions. Like that they are changing some activities to achieve their goals and experience best experience from their individuals. So next is it increases the organizational capability of achieving goals at all levels. At all levels means it may be in the starting level, some of the companies may be in the middle level, some of the companies may be in a higher level. So in all levels, that is not only in like this, but we can take it like top management, lower level and the bottom level. So middle level and bottom level or lower level. So these three levels can be achieved. Next one is a high degree of motivation and satisfaction is available to the employees through MBO. So the motivation we have seen before itself, and when motivation is done there, we can see some satisfaction from the employees. So next one is recognizes the participation of employees in goal setting process. And next is aims at replacing the exercise of authority with consultations, encourages a climate of trust, goodwill and a will to perform. So the trust, the goodwill is the company's, the organization's good name. So these are all the features of MBO. And at last we have a work specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time based. We have made it to success. So in 12th standard also you have to make a success. You have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time based. Time is very important. As you are at home, don't waste your time. Sit and go through all the side headings. Sit and go through all the important notes. Don't waste your time. Now at last we have completed the management by objectives. We are yet to complete the management by exemption. We'll do it in the next class. And we have the advantages and disadvantages also of the MBO. Okay, thank you students.